Hey guys, I wanted to show this to you today. An NES. An NES with HDMI. What? So, let's power this guy up and see what we got going on here. Raspberries. I don't remember that being on the Nintendo. Ah yes, RetroPie. So, actually what I have here is an NES case. The NES itself is broken. The actual, main IC has been fried, so it's unrepairable. Well, more money than I want to repair it. I have a few more of these guys. Inside the NES case is the Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi has this operating system, which can make it a RetroPie. And so what it does is it has all of your nice fancy old systems that you like. I'm obviously a fan. I'm 30, so this is kind of my era. Of course, there's also even some more modern games. Well, I say more modern, but much later. So that's pretty nice. I'm pretty proud of this work. This was originally a PC case, actually, so I just did a little modification once I started to decide to play with Raspberry Pis, which I love, by the way. So I even have some USB ports in here. I wasn't sure if the Raspberry Pi could do USB hubs. Thankfully it can, so I was able to multiply how many USB ports I have. I have the low-profile flash drive in there, which has the games on it. The power and reset buttons do exactly what they are supposed to. They're just rewired. What I really like here is the original NES controller port. So what you notice on this guy is that he's not Nintendo. He doesn't say Nintendo on it anywhere. This is actually an aftermarket USB controller made to look like Nintendo, which I cut the connector off of and wired into a Nintendo connector. I did the same thing on the inside of the Nintendo on the other side. So basically this is an intermittent connector that just is in the middle of this USB cable right here. I have the power here, which is just, the USB powered for the RetroPie, which is spliced into the original Nintendo's connector. This guy's completely depopulated, so it's just 5 volts in, and then 5 volts to the RetroPie. And then lastly, we have the HDMI out, which I came out of this external port here. So the actual only physical modification I made to the outside of the system was a single hole to get the cable through, and then these two holes to mount this 3D printed part that I put, oops, hate reset, that houses the USB ports. So aside from that, you would not be able to tell this was not an NES from the outside until you turn it on. So there we go, there we have it. Why don't we boot up an NES game? If you notice, obviously these two buttons would not be sufficient to play anything but NES. So, I do have these guys over here. Just a standard Super Nintendo controller, but as USB. And they work right in the front right here. I didn't want to make Super Nintendo plug into here. That would be weird to me. I wouldn't want it to look off that way, having a Super Nintendo controller plugged into the actual NES port. That's obviously just preference. So, since I have the NES plugged in, controller plugged in, I will have to play an NES game. I did not do the standard, I'm going to download every NES ROM there is and put it on here. I chose the ones I wanted on here, so I don't have a superfluous amount of games. So, let's see, what do I want? This is one of my favorite games right here, Faxanadu. Underrated, however, hard to play with one hand. So what can I play with one hand? How about Legend of Zelda? Ta-da! There we go. A lot of work went into the insides of this to make it so flawless on the outside. Like I said, I'm really happy with the end of my work. think I'm going to try making a few more of these in other cases. Maybe find some broken SNES online, maybe a Sega. Ooh, I actually have a broken Sega I can use as a case. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you want to see how the insides of this and what I did to make it what it is, view my other video. The link is in the description below. And thanks for watching. See you later.